Adam and I have been married for 16 years this year, and we've actually been together much longer than that. We started dating in 2001, and so technically we've been together for 21 years. We always try to go on a trip together around our anniversary, just us two. So this year we went to Estes Park, Colorado, and I wanted to take you guys with us and share with you what we did while we were out there. So we've had this vacation planned for a while, and Adam and I love going to Colorado. It's one of our favorite places to go. I feel like we would much rather go to the mountains and stay in a cabin than go to the beach somewhere, and so that's what we normally do. Last year we actually went and stayed in a getaway cabin up in Michigan, which is one of those like tiny little cabins, so that was super fun too. But mainly we just, you know, wanted to like spend time together, relax, and drive around the Rocky Mountains because it's so beautiful, and eat good food and drink beer and hang out together. So yeah, we didn't really do anything like super fancy, but we toured Rocky Mountain National Park. We got out and hiked for several miles. So I've got lots to share with you guys in today's video. And I feel like just reflecting on how long we've been married. I know that many of you have probably been married for much longer than 16 years, but I still feel like it's a long time. And also, you know, I mentioned this before, but we had started dating in 2001, actually, before I turned 18. So I guess technically we were high school sweethearts. I always say that like monogamy is not for the weak, and when I got married, I was super young. I was only 23. I guess I consider that really young. And I feel like people would tell me like marriage is hard. And I didn't really understand what that meant at that point in time, because I feel like when you're young and you're just so like in love, you can never imagine like that it's gonna be hard. Like, what do you mean it's hard? And I think that it's worth it, but I do think that it is hard some days. Like, you have to wake up every day and, you know, make the choice to put that person first in your life. Obviously, you know, you have your kids and your faith and whatever else, but you know, it is a choice to to wake up and, you know, put that person first and invest back into your marriage. And it only gets harder and more difficult as you have children and as, you know, your time demands increase at work and whatever you're doing. So I'm super grateful for Adam, and I feel super lucky that I get to be married to him and have him be my teammate in life. He's a great dad to our kids. He's a great husband to me. He is a very hard worker, and yeah, I just love him so much. So now that that sappiness is out of the way, let's get on to our trip. So of course we had to start out first thing with a flight delay, but we actually made it to our final destination on time. I also want to let you guys know that I'm super excited that this video is sponsored by Fetch. I'm going to be telling you about them later in the video. So Adam has never flown first class before. I have a few times when I've gotten complimentary upgrades when flying for work. So I had decided that I was going to use all of my airline points and book us first class for this trip, which was super fun. And we're super lucky that we got to do that. But we flew from Moline to Dallas and then Dallas to Denver, went to pick up our rental vehicle, and then made the drive to Estes Park. We are staying at an Airbnb in Estes Park, which is about 90 minutes from Denver. We were here actually last year. We did a family vacation, drove up to Estes Park and saw the Stanley Hotel with the kids last summer. Okay, so we are in Estes Park in an Airbnb. I thought I would give you guys a little tour of this cozy cabin. I can link this Airbnb listing down below. I feel like I've stayed in a lot of cabins before and you just never know what you're gonna get, but this one is really great. So that's the front door right there. We have an electric fireplace in the living room, which is really nice. It's decorated really nicely. I like sort of the wood paneling on the walls. We've got a TV with Netflix. The Wi-Fi is good. Dining room table over here. And then out here you can see the deck, which I'll show you in a little bit. We've got a view of the mountains. We had an elk in the yard this evening, so I'll give you a little clip of that real quick. There's an elk out here. And right up in the yard.
He's sort of the villain. It's made out there.
This is the bedroom in here. It's just a 1 bedroom, 1 queen bed, and then I believe the couch folds out into a sofa bed, but the maximum it sleeps is 4. And then it has a nice view out the bedroom here. Of course, if you want a view without power lines, you got to pay extra for that. In any time you're in the mountains, right? But yeah, I mean, I think it's really cozy. It's just perfect for 2 people. Really comfy couch. They've got a recliner, an extra ottoman over here. The kitchen is fully stocked, so we've got microwave, a range. They've got plenty of pots and pans. I didn't think they had a dishwasher, but they do, so that's nice. Full fridge and a sink. The bathroom's really nice. It's got a full tub shower with really great water pressure, and it has a washer and dryer. So I thought that was pretty cool. So overall, would definitely recommend staying here. If you're in Estes Park, I would definitely stay here again. And it's just like minutes away from downtown, so you can walk. It's like a 3-minute drive from the Stanley Hotel. In fact, I think you can see the Stanley Hotel if you look out over here. Oh yeah, see over there. Well, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a white building with a red roof. We've got dinner reservations there later this week. I thought I'd show you the outside too. This is the rental we ended up getting. It's a VW Atlas, which is nice because I've always wanted to drive one before. But the listing said, like, make sure you get 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive because you don't know if there's going to be snow in October. This is the outside of the cabin here, and then that's actually the door that goes into the bedroom. And then when you walk around here, they've got a bear lock on the trash, which I think is funny. There's a hot tub that we have not tried out yet, but we hope to. More mountains over here. We've got a grill, and then I don't know, I'll step down here. You can see this is where right where this elk was last night. It's a pretty nice little area. There's, you know, a lot of little houses and cabins up here, so awesome. Highly recommend. All right, so I thought I would do a little vacation grocery haul. We went to Safeway, which I think is like the only grocery store here. It's been a long time since I've been at a Safeway, but I know they have them on the West Coast. So anyway, we just basically got some snacks and some things for breakfast tomorrow and dinner tonight, and then we're gonna figure out the rest of it later. Okay, so I am popping in here to let you guys know that today's video is sponsored by Fetch. I am so freaking excited to be working with them because you guys hear me talking about Fetch all the time. I love them. I scan my receipts into Fetch all the time, and I get gift cards, right? I get gift cards to Amazon, to Starbucks, to Target, to Bath & Body Works, wherever. It's awesome. Fetch is super easy to use, and it literally works with any receipt from anywhere. So you don't have to go to a specific store and buy certain things like some other rebate apps. You can literally scan any receipt from any store for any shopping that you do, whether it's fun or necessities. Obviously, I saved all of our receipts from when we were out in Colorado, and I'm scanning those in to see how many points that I'm going to get. Fetch is super easy to use and it's free. You can earn rewards literally on anything that you buy. It works on both physical and e-receipts, which I think is awesome as well. After you scan your receipt, you can redeem those points, and they have tons of different rewards, like I said, including Amazon, Visa, Starbucks, GameStop, Walmart gift cards. Again, Fetch is a 100% free and super easy to use. All of their redemptions start at just 5,000 points, and it's super easy to cash your points in for gift cards, which you can use for more awesome fun things. Fetch is super fast. You can scan your receipt, redeem points, and spend a reward all from your phone in a matter of seconds. It's super easy. You just scan your receipts. The process only takes seconds. You don't have to worry about where the receipt is from or what's on it. You can also click the e-receipt function to get rewarded for online shopping. The app automatically scans your email and finds rewards for you. Your points will turn into gift cards, which I typically use Starbucks to feed my coffee addiction, but you can do whatever you want with your reward points. You can literally earn points from anywhere, any and all retail stores, all Amazon purchases, e-receipts, and restaurants. So I highly encourage you guys to check out Fetch. If you haven't downloaded the app and you aren't scanning your receipts, what are you even doing? Do it right now. You probably have receipts sitting in your purse or your wallet just waiting to be scanned. I have to tell you a funny story about my sister, actually. She also uses Fetch, and we're always texting back and forth about how many points we get when we scan our Casey's gas receipts in. So you guys can check out the link in the description box below. If you use my code Jen Chapin, that's JenChapin, you can get 5,000 points when you scan your first receipt. How awesome is that? So download the app now and use code Jen Chapin to get 5,000 points when you scan your first receipt. This is a limited time offer just for my viewers. So like I said, download the app, use my code Jen Chapin. I'll have a link in the description box below. I promise you it's super easy and fun to use, and you're gonna get addicted to scanning your receipts just like me and my sister. So we got this True Blonde Ska Brewing Company beer. I've got some sugar-free Red Bull. We got some Diet Pepsi. I got a 6-pack of Smart Water. It is dry as heck here, so I've been guzzling water. We also went to the liquor store. They had some of these pre-mixed cocktails. This is an Oregon Old Fashioned, a smoked Old Fashioned, and then a margarita. I got some cottage cheese, some half and half for coffee, some sour cream for baked potatoes. Tonight I'm gonna make baked potatoes, steak, some shrimp, and some salad. 2 russet potatoes for that. And then we also picked up some bagels for breakfast tomorrow. They're Asiago cheese bagels from the bakery. Some wheat thins, peanut butter M&Ms. I did get salt and pepper because last time I was at an Airbnb, they had like no spices whatsoever, but this one is fully stocked, so I guess we didn't really need that, but you can put that in the fridge. We got some whipped butter for the potatoes and bread and breakfast and everything like that. I wasn't sure what kind of coffee maker they had, but they have a drip coffee maker, which is good, so I got some regular Starbucks ground coffee. We also got some A1 for the steaks, some travel size Axe and deodorant. Those are hard to find. Some plain cream cheese for the bagels. This Lucerne brand, I can't find this around me, so every time I'm somewhere and I can try a new brand, I always do because I'm a dork like that. I got some sharp cheddar cheese to go with the wheat thins, some jumbo butterfly shrimp. These will probably just cook in the oven. I thought this looked really good. It is a asparagus orzo salad. Looks like it's got feta cheese in it. And then I also got one of these bacon Caesar salad kits for dinner, or to go with dinner. Some Cheetos, pretzels, some bacon for breakfast. These were the fillets that I picked up. 2 of them, pretty large actually. So they have a grill here. I was thinking if they didn't have a grill, I would just cook them inside, but I guess we can grill them, right? Since they have a grill. I got some cocktail sauce for the shrimp. We got a pre-cut fruit bowl. Again, we are not used to the dryness here. It's much more humid in the Midwest, so I just wanted like some plain saline nasal spray. Well, they didn't have any like grown-up nasal spray. So I got the kind for kids, which is totally fine. It'll work just the same. Got some of this Cheesecake Factory brown bread to go with dinner. Love that stuff. Adam got some corn nuts, this little variety pack, some eggs, and then some paper plates, because I did not think from the pictures that they had a dishwasher in here, but it looks like they do, so that's good. Okay, so welcome to the next morning. I am making us some coffee and I'm gonna make us some breakfast. I actually did quite a lot of cooking on this trip, which I actually like to do, and I know that some people will say like, well, that's not a vacation if you're cooking your food. Well, I say it is, especially if you like to cook like me. So this morning we had picked up those bagels from Safeway, so I'm just going to slice those up and toast them and put some cream cheese on them. And then I also got some bacon and eggs. I've told you guys this before, but Adam's very favorite meal of the day is breakfast. So I love cooking breakfast for him, even though I don't really eat a whole lot of it. Like if I do eat breakfast, it's just a little bit, but I enjoy cooking it for him anyway. And bonus, in this Airbnb, they actually had pretty decent skillets and cooking tools and everything. So that was pretty awesome. So I cooked up some bacon, and then I'm just going to fry some eggs in another skillet. I would have fried them in the bacon grease, but I totally forgot about that. They also had a nice toaster with even a bagel function, so that was nice. So we've got our crispy bacon, bagel with plain cream cheese. Those bagels from the bakery were really, really good. And a couple of eggs. And that was our breakfast this morning. This was really our first full day there. And we kind of just relaxed and didn't do a whole lot of anything except sit in the cabin, and we read and watched movies, and we sat in the hot tub. But for lunch that day, we went to Estes Park Brewing Company, which has really great views, and it was a really cool place. They had a pretty good menu of food. So I think Adam got a brat with sauerkraut, and I got a cheeseburger and fries, and it was really good. And then afterwards, we just drove around a little bit. We are actually interested at some point in like buying property out in Colorado, either in Estes Park or maybe in Breckenridge. I'm not sure. So we always like to drive around when we're out there and like look at listings on realtor.com and just dream about how maybe one day we can live there. I don't think it's going to happen for quite a while because the kids are still in school. But we just really enjoy like driving around and looking at the scenery. It's crazy to me that you can just walk out of the grocery store and see mountains. Like this is the Safeway parking lot. I was telling Adam, I was like, I can't even comprehend just like walking out of the grocery store and seeing that on a regular basis. Rather than just seeing like cornfields and a concrete parking lot. Do you know? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like when I see the ocean or when I see palm trees, like no matter how many times I see it, like it never gets old because it's just not, the scenery that I'm used to here in the Midwest. So we decided on this evening actually that we were going to stay in again and cook dinner and watch a movie. So I told Adam, I said, don't you really like jambalaya? Like it's something he orders when we go out every once in a while. And he's like, yeah, I love that. And of course I never really make it at home because the kids are not like huge fans of it. So that's why we went to Safeway again to grab the ingredients for that. We just needed a few things. So I got some rice. I can link the recipe that I used down below. It was kind of time consuming, but again, I love cooking. So it didn't bother me to spend some time in the kitchen cooking this. So I chopped up some onion, some green pepper, and then I'm also going to chop up some garlic and celery, tons of chopping of the veggies. And I have to say, for an Airbnb, the chef's knife that they had wasn't too bad. It's not as good as my Misen knife, but hey, you got to take what you can get, right? Okay, so after I got all the veggies chopped up, I just got one chicken breast from the meat counter at Safeway. So I just cut that up into large chunks, and then I'm going to season that with some Slap Ya Mama Cajun seasoning. I took the sausages that we got. Those are andouille sausages from the deli or the bakery, the meat case, and I sauteed them in a skillet along with the chicken pieces that were seasoned. And then once those are cooked through, I'm going to remove them. I went ahead and seasoned my shrimp. This is raw shrimp that I just seasoned with some Cajun seasoning, and then opened a can of tomatoes. These are crushed tomatoes. After the meat was done cooking, I went ahead and removed that, added a little bit more oil, added the veggies to the pan, and then I just sauteed those probably for about 10 to 15 minutes until they got nice and tender. You want them to be tender, but you don't want them to be too mushy, obviously, and fall apart. So this is about perfect. And then after that, I added the crushed tomatoes to the skillet along with the seasoning. I added some Worcestershire, some hot sauce. You can add as much or as little of that as you like. And then we're gonna put the sausages and the chicken back in and then cover that and let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. After that was done, I removed the sausages and then I added the chicken broth in. I did add a little bit extra broth than the recipe called for, just because of the altitude, and I did have to cook the rice a little bit longer than the recipe called for, also because of the altitude. I stirred in the rice that I had washed and went ahead and put the lid on that. And then we thought we would have cornbread with this. I got the famous Dave's cornbread mix from the grocery store. It was delicious. I don't know if I've ever bought that brand of cornbread before, but I will definitely buy it again because I really love like sweet cornbread, and it was perfect. So I put that into a pan and got that into the oven, and here's what the jambalaya looked like when it was done. I did let it sit for about 10 minutes after the rice was done cooking, just so it could absorb the liquid, and then I kept my cornbread warm, drizzled some butter over that, and that is what we had for dinner on this evening. It was so good. We had lots of leftovers, but it was the perfect cool evening dinner. Okay, so the next morning I actually did some laundry. Like I said, I was super grateful that this Airbnb had a washer and dryer. That's definitely a plus when you go somewhere. And I finally got to use this little travel pack of Tide that I had been hoarding forever. I don't even remember where I got it. This morning we went out for breakfast / brunch at the Egg of Estes. Highly recommend this place. It was so good. You can see I had eggs Benedict and potatoes and a mimosa. This was the day that we probably had the most fun because we drove out to Rocky Mountain National Park and did some hiking and drove through the park, and it was just so beautiful. I can't even explain it. If you've never been there, I highly, highly recommend it. This is actually our first time, I think it's our first time actually driving through the park. You do have to get online and get like a timed entry sort of ticket that they sell you, but then you just go, show them your ID, check in, and it's a $30 pass to drive through the whole park. We also got the Bear Lake pass, which I highly recommend if you're doing that as well. But like I said, I never get tired of this scenery. It's crazy to me. I just could stare at it all day. I love looking at the mountains. It's just like awe-inspiring. I don't even know how to explain it. Like I said, it's just something we're not used to seeing in the Midwest. So Adam drove, thanks to him, so I could film and take pictures. It was super fun. I don't know. I think we were in the car for like probably 4 hours that day, just driving around and then getting out and walking and hiking around the lakes and everything like that. And I don't know, it's just such a relaxing day. I was telling Adam too that I was glad that it was just us because I can remember we were out there a couple years ago with the kids and they would just be like looking at their iPads in the car, and I'd be like, hey, look at the mountains. They'd be like, oh yeah, cool. Like, I know kids don't just appreciate scenery as much as adults do, right? But it also started raining while we were there a little bit, so the rain was really pretty in the mountains. And then we actually drove all the way up to, I think it's a Rainbow Curve, and it was actually snowing when we got up to the top, which was really cool. The temperature dropped like, I think 20 degrees while we were driving up there. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a great day. We both agreed that it was the best day that we had there. And I don't know, we just enjoyed ourselves. I feel like an old person just like driving around looking at scenery, but it was so fun. This was just one of the small hikes / walks that we took around Sprague Lake, or Sprague Lake, I think it's called. they had like a walking trail around there. So we got out of the vehicle and walked around the lake. This is one of the smaller lakes. So I think it was only like a mile loop around. But we also went to Bear Lake, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. But obviously it was so pretty. And we stopped and took a couple of pictures that now I can use for our Christmas card. Yay. But yeah, super beautiful scenery. Okay, so this is Bear Lake, and they had said that there was no parking there and that you had to take a shuttle, but we took the chance and drove up there anyway, and there was plenty of parking. So I think it's probably just if you go like earlier in the day, I'm sure it's busier. We didn't get there until like 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon. I would say though, if you want to drive through the whole park, you definitely need to start like early in the day because it does take quite a while. You obviously can't drive quite as fast because the roads are very steep and twisty and turny and all of that. But this was Bear Lake. It was very pretty. Like I said, we have never driven through here before or got out and walked. So it was really awesome to be able to see that. I would say also too, you know, obviously I'm not like an experienced outdoorsman or hiker. So all of these walks that we took were already on like established trails. So it wasn't like any type of strenuous hiking. Like we just wore tennis shoes. We didn't have hiking boots. They do have obviously the option, lots of different trails that you can kind of go off the beaten path, you know, and hike through the park. We obviously didn't do that, but that's available if you want to. So this was actually when we got to the top, I think it was called Rainbow Curve, I think. We could have kept going, but we needed to leave and go eat dinner because it was starting to get darker and cold, and it actually started snowing while we were up there. So we drove back down the mountain once again in awe of all the scenery. And in this clip, actually, you can see, I think it's a deer along with her babies playing. I tried as best I could to get a clip of this. It was kind of hard because vehicles are just like stopping all over the place, and you know, you're kind of trying to drive past them or get a shot or do do whatever. But that was pretty cool to see. I will say, I think that they told us that we would see more animals than we actually did, but you know, it's a crapshoot. They did tell us though that the animals are more active in the evening hours. So if you want to see more animals, then I would say try to go in the evening hours as well. Okay, so for dinner that night, we went to a place called Claire's, which is also in Estes Park. I called and got reservations. It was really great service, fast seating. I got some smoked salmon with arugula and Brussels sprouts and beets and some polenta, and it was so delicious. Okay, so the next morning, I cooked breakfast again at home, so I'm just making some coffee to start us out. So this morning we're having some roasted potatoes. These are already cooked. I got them at the grocery store, so I just have to throw them in the oven. And then we also got some thick cut bacon from the meat counter as well. So I'm just frying that up. You guys are gonna be like, oh my god, I eat bacon every single day. No, we don't eat bacon every single day. When we're on vacation, yes, I cook bacon every single day, but definitely do not do that at home. Okay, so I'm pouring our coffee. I thought it was funny. They actually had a Mr. and Mrs. mug. I kind of felt like it was too cheesy, so I didn't use the Mrs. mug, but I did give Adam the Mr. one. And by the way, that caramel coffee that I got from Starbucks is really delicious. I recommend it. If you ever see that in your store, I would definitely recommend it. It's delicious coffee. Okay, so this morning we've got eggs, bacon, potatoes. Put a little bit of white gravy over there, and bam, this is our breakfast for this morning. So this is actually the day that we are going to leave Estes Park and drive to Denver for our early flight the next morning. But we had reservations at the Stanley Hotel to eat dinner at the Cascades whiskey bar and lounge. Highly recommend it. It is pretty pricey, but it's kind of an experience, especially at the Stanley. They've got like a huge bar menu and pretty good food too. We got a charcuterie board, both meat and cheese, and then we both ordered steaks and split a salad. Adam got an old fashioned. He said it was really good, and I got a filet with red wine sauce and a burrata salad, and Adam got a filet flight, and it was delicious. Hello, my friends, and good morning. Today is the last day of our vacation. We actually drove here to Denver last night because we were gonna have an early flight, and it was gonna be a very long drive, super early in the morning, like down the mountain, and we decided that it would be better if we would just come and stay here overnight for our early flight this morning. So we are actually staying at the Westin Denver Airport. It's a really nice hotel. I've never stayed here before. So we got a room here after we ate dinner last night at the Stanley Hotel. We drove down here. It took about an hour and a half, dropped off the rental car, came over here to the hotel, and basically just relaxed last night. So now it is about 5:25 in the morning, and we have to leave here about 6 to go through security. I think you can actually see the security line from our room. I ended up getting upgraded to a executive suite because I have so many Marriott points, but yeah, you can see the security line is already long. We do have TSC pre-check, which is good, so hopefully it doesn't take that long to get through.